I'm Capt.Eddie. Welcome to my shop. A while back we made a whole bunch of these. Some shop bling, some rings. And I used what some guys write me about, these fancy chucks that we come up with that cost too much money. Well, they cost a lot of money, but not too much money. But today, I'm going to show you how to do this without a chuck. Right, without a chuck. And all you have to do is watch. Besides just showing you how to do it without a chuck, we'll talk a little bit about glue blocks and putting the angles and some other things, maybe a little embellishing we'll add to this video. Now, you've got a chuck, you've got a lathe. Yeah, you really got to have one to do wood turning. It's got a Morse taper head. Most of them do. Ones that have straight, this can still work on. This is a one-way. It's got a number 2 here and a number 3 on the tailstock. Really makes it hard when you step up to the one-way and find out your parts didn't fit. Okay, now, what did I do? I turned a spindle right here that is a number 2 Morse taper. How did I do that? I put it between centers, measured the Morse taper on one of my tail pieces, laid it out, turned it, shaped it up, sanded it out, and I got a Morse taper. Right? Right. Then I stuck it in here and drove it in. Then I added this face piece. Yeah. And that's going to become our chuck. The Morse tapers turn to fit fairly tight. And I snugged it up a little, pardon my reach. A little bitty bit. Now, it's wood. I didn't make it out of anything that would damage the head. Now, if you've got the capability of putting in a screw chuck with the screw faceplate and screwing on the block onto that, that's fine. But I said no chucks. So this is no chucks. I am going to make my 1.5" holding chuck right here. Just like I did on the last video. A little more room on the center. And then I'm going to come out until I have about a 3/8 inch deep recess that fits my 1.5" plug that I made on the drill press. I don't like doing a caliper on this, and I'm a little bit undersized, so I try again. Now if I mess it up, I've got an 1.5" material here, so I just be a little bit thinner. I want the back of the cavity to be the same as the front. I know this stopping and starting stuff must be driving you crazy, but I'm almost there. I don't want to have to drive it on because getting it off is a little bit of a problem. I am ready. Now, if you're playing along and you don't understand what's going on, this is going to be a jam chuck. And I am going to put in a block that I made on my drill press that is made up of 2 laminated pieces with a center wafer. In this case, this center wafer is a piece of Formica. On the back of it, I have a piece of double stick duct tape I pick up locally at Lowe's, and that's going to go in this spot. The recess keeps it true, and the double stick tape keeps it in place, and this whole rig keeps it there and turns it so I can shape the ring. Got it? As we did last time, back up to about 2,000 RPM. Going to round off the outside. Boy, I like what happens when you hit that Formica. Now be careful about your outside diameter if it's a man's ring, because you will run into problems with the diameter, the outside diameter. A little scrape here. Any tool you're happy with. Do it with a with almost any tool in the shop that'll cut wood. Again, I'm going to have an off-balance center. So I'll say that's one side. And that's the other side. Using my shop-made parting tool, one of my earlier videos. You run it to super glue that's only been setting for an hour or two, you'll often get a little gum up on it. Just got to heat it up to get it off. Do not grind the sides of these tools, because you will dish it in and it cuts lousy after that. Now, if you heard that little harmonics a minute ago that was coming up and really caused me some concern, my chuck came a little loose. So all I did was push it on a little bit more. And when I did, it started running a little untrue. So, little twist. We'll get it true again. The inside of the ring is to the right dimension. I brought up a soft touch. I don't want a lot of wobble here. I have my ring parted off. And I'm ready to go to the next step, which is size the outside to match the inside. A little while ago, in the other video, the one I keep referring to, because it's the precursor to this one, or the prequel. Alright, this was the mandrel I put into a spigot jaw to hold. What I would do is turn this down. This is just like the same shape as a Morse taper. Drive it in there, turn this down, which you're going to do now using our skew. Until we get to a size that'll work. We want it to have a gradual taper. How do I do this without getting a catch? You need to watch my video on how to sharpen your skew to explain how this works like a block plane and doesn't have to get catches. And how you can get a 220 finish right there almost every single time, just by learning how to sharpen your skew. Now, I got a little trash that's stuck on the inside here, so I'm going to go this way, rough on the out now, just like before. This goes back in, we snug it up again, and get you in a little bit closer for a minute. So you see how this happens. I'm going to use the shop-made Scott. There you go. That cleaned up that edge. Then pushing this way. Remember, pushing to the headstock. Came loose. So we either didn't have it tapped up on there, or we need to put a little piece of tape there. Tape helps when it won't stay tight. Now that Formica is going to help stabilize the piece so we can put a little more pressure on it. I do like this purple with the white stripe. It looks really good. If I was one of those LSU crazies from Baton Rouge, I would probably go looking for a gold. Purple and gold would be really great. There's our our 5-second finish. Again, I'm going to have to get a slow-mo camera because you probably looked away at Angry Bird or something and missed that 3-second finish. The 5 seconds was the whole time to tear the tissue down and everything. But that was some medium thin super glue. Oh, by the way, I'm going to start adding this to what I can ship to you if you need it. We bring it in bulk. In bulk being, you know, a lot of bottles at one time. I think we can add that to the repertoire. So, when I play around with all these scraps and all these bits, and I've probably made 40 rings in the last 4 or 5 days just practicing for this, I find all these scraps in the boxes out back. And this one, that's 2 pieces of sycamore with 3 colors, a purple, a white, a red, alright? And if I want that to pass on an angle through the band like that, I have to adjust the glue block before I get started. So I'm going to say that I want it to pass 1/8 of an inch. That's a lot, 1/8 of an inch. So I want it to come across this glue block and reduce it by 1/8 from one side to the other. That's what I'm going to do. So I'll take it, and I don't do a whole lot of layout on this. Eyeball it. I say I'm going to go from here and go up 1/8 of an inch. Then I'm going to cut it. Now, why did I cut the glue block? Because that's my base. So now when I put the glue block down, and you need to get closer. All right, let's get you a little bit closer. Yeah, all right. Now, all right, when I put the glue block on my drill press, oh my God. Glad it wasn't my shop watch. Okay, now I'm going to take my 1.5 Ace brand, is that? Yeah, hole saw and drill a hole. The entire blank will have the thing running on an angle. You got my madness? You got my madness. There you have it, using up some shop scraps and some junk and other things. And the Formica. Where do you get solid color Formica samples? From your local countertop guy. Go by and see what he's got and ask him. You need the little ones, but these come from Formica. You gotta tell them you need a sample of, and there's only 6 or 7 colors of. And they send them to designers, architects, and people who are going to buy countertops. Okay? All right. Same way I get coriander. And coriander's awesome for this. Awesome. And lap it, put 2 colors together. I mean, well, okay. Put a piece of coriander between 2 pieces of beautiful wood. Put 2 pieces of coriander with 1 piece of beautiful wood between them. Put 4 pieces. I don't care. There's no rules. Really. Remember the thing about the 1.5 hole saw. If you don't have an 1.5 hole saw, turn this video off and leave. Sell all your tools. No. No rules. No rules. No chucks. No rules. It's just about getting out in your shop and making shavings. I'm Capt.Eddie Castle, and it was nice having you in the shop today. Hope to see you back soon. Be safe. No jewelry in the shop. I even took my earring off. Like I'd have an earring. You guys believe anything. Earring.